Hi, this is Dr. Frank with the Church of Rational Truth. Today's lecture is going to be about false inductions or faulty generalizations, also sometimes called the fallacy of defective induction. It's another type of logical fallacy, and this one is one that I see all the time. The way to kind of make this simple to understand, it's basically making a false assumption based on a fact that seems to support it, but doesn't give actually enough true data to back it up. That's kind of hard to wrap your head around unless you see a couple of examples. I give one example to my patients all the time of this kind of faulty induction or faulty generalization, and that is I've got two of my favorites. One is that eating oatmeal is correlated with cancer. It does not cause cancer. You would think that if I said, well, people who eat oatmeal are more likely to die of cancer, you would go, oh my god, I should stop eating oatmeal. This oatmeal is going to kill me because so many people who are eating oatmeal die of cancer. That is a false assumption. That is a false induction. We have deduced something about eating oatmeal from that fact that is not actually true about eating oatmeal. The reason this falls apart is there's not enough data here to say why are these two things related? Why is this oatmeal and cancer? Why do these two things go hand in hand? This is very similar to correlation does not prove causation. Just because two things are linked or related somehow is not enough to prove that one causes the other. The reason that if you look at statistics and go, oh, people who eat oatmeal are more likely to die of cancer, it is because generally people who are older eat oatmeal. And because people who are eating oatmeal are older people have higher rates of cancer. Therefore, people who eat oatmeal more often are more likely to have cancer. It's not at all related to the oatmeal. The oatmeal does not cause cancer. If anything, oatmeal has a lot of fiber. It probably reduces the rate of certain cancers. I would say maybe colon cancer, maybe. Don't have the data. Don't want to give you false information. But that is a great example of it, where you find one piece of data or snippet of data that seems to explain a lot more, or you make a lot of false conclusions from that data. Another one that I like is global warming is inversely correlated with the number of pirates. I think that's correct. Or it's like number of pirates directly, is it either directly or indirectly correlates with global warming. Those two things are completely unrelated, but if you look at the data, yeah, those things, it's either pirates go up and global warming goes up, or I think it's pirates goes down and global warming goes up. So you would think if we had more pirates, we'd get rid of global warming. But in reality, those two statistics are unrelated. They just correlate because of time, not necessarily because one causes the other. So you see this all the time. If you go back to historical examples, a lot of poor scientific theories were based on this, where basically you look at something and you see a generalization or you see a correlation with some sample set, and then you draw additional conclusions from that. I believe miasma theory probably came out of this. For those who do not know medicine and miasma, or old-timey medicine and miasma theory was the idea that diseases can come from bad odors or bad smells or bad air. It's the reason we have the term malaria. It means bad air. Basically, they thought the air was bad, all these people would get sick. The thinking was that if you went to certain areas, they would smell bad, they'd be full of filth, and they had a higher prevalence of many, not all, but many diseases. And so they go, oh, all these bad smells, all these diseases, clearly it's something with the bad smells that are causing these diseases. And from this, there was the whole theory of disease based on bad air, or miasma theory. Basically, these vapors or these bad things got into the air and got the people sick. This is the reason why you saw plague doctors, those doctors that look like they have beaks, and they'd put aromatics in it so they wouldn't smell the bad air. Weirdly enough, those things did actually help, not because they were protecting themselves from the air, they're creating a physical barrier from the actual germs that are causing the disease. So, again, people would be making false correlations that, look, clearly if I smell good air, I don't get sick, therefore I'm proving my theory. But the problem is, it is not enough. Just because there is that correlation, you're not going through all the additional steps to really show how is it working, what are the exact mechanisms. And a lot of times this can lead us to a lot of false conclusions. A lot of people can use this to lie with data. If you can find just two things that seem like they're related and you draw a lot of conclusions, you're going to be wrong. So you always have to look, are these pieces of data, or is this sample that seems like it's correlated or related somehow, is that enough to actually prove a larger statement or a different statement or a generalization about it? Or is this just that my sample set proved this and there's another explanation, a third linking thing that is causing this correlation, or that this is just a random correlation that happened, that really these two things happened at the same time, but they just happened, and because they happened over the same timeline, they seem like they were related. That's it. Hopefully that's enough to give people kind of an idea of what a false induction or a faulty generalization is. Hopefully you all like the series on logical fallacies. Since we are the Church of Rational Truth, we care a lot about good rational thinking, good logical thinking. So I think this lecture series kind of harps on that. So hopefully we'll keep making more of these. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Once again, I am Dr. Frank with the Church of Rational Truth, signing off.